So Anna and Craig, since you are online,
Mhm.
um, I don't want to scare off other people, but I would like to get them to put their information into the chat. So if you would be
Mhm.
prepared to maybe be the second and or third or fourth person to do that, uh, that'd be great.
You don't want us to be the first?
I don't want it to look like it's all people
Stalking.
who, yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll wait.
All right, can you guys see the slide deck?
Good. Let's see. Yes.
Excellent.
Yep, I can see it.
Should go on mute because I am typing.
Thank you, sir. Hi, did someone just join?
Yes, hi, this is John Arrigo from Winter Wyman.
Hey, John, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks.
I'm just still logging in over here. So.
Good enough. Well, when you do get logged in, if you would not mind introducing yourself in chat, that'd be great.
Oh, sure, perfect.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, no problem.
We're expecting maybe. Oh, hi. Did someone just join?
Hey, this is Ed Deming.
Hey, Ed. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks. So we're expecting maybe 6 or so folks. So Ed, if you wouldn't mind, maybe just jumping in and introducing yourself in chat. So for people who jump in later, be helpful.
Sure.
Thank you. Hi, did someone just join?
Yes, hi, this is Aditya.
Hi, Aditya, how are you?
Good, good, thank you.
Welcome. If you would not mind just introducing yourself in chat for those who are coming afterwards, that'd be great.
Sure, sure. Let me get the chat open and that's what I'll do.
Very good, thank you.
Hello, this is Dan here.
Hi, I'm sorry, who's that?
This is Dan. Is this Jim?
Oh, hi, Dan. Yes, it is. How are you?
Hey, good. How are you?
Good. Well, when it's convenient, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself in chat, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, I actually dialed in. Let me see if I can log in.
That's okay.
Okay.
Mark, are you on audio or not on audio? I just saw you introduce yourself over chat, which was great. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I'm on audio.
Great. Well, welcome and thank you for instructions.
I'm gonna go on mute since I'm in a coffee shop, but I'll get online too.
Great, thank you.
All right, you bet.
Looks like maybe Tom Anderson, did you join?
I sure did. That's me.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well. Yourself?
I'm well, thanks. Welcome. If you wouldn't mind introducing yourself in chat, that'd be fantastic for anyone who joins a little bit later.
Certainly, sure will.
Great, thank you.
Hey, Tom, good to hear your voice. Dan here as well.
Hey, Dan, how are you?
Great. Thank you for the introduction yesterday as well.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
We're building up our membership, one person at a time.
That's right.
Did someone just join?
Yes, this is Stephen Vance.
Hey, Stephen, how are you?
Doing well. How about you?
I'm good, thanks. Would you mind introducing yourself in the chat window for anyone who shows up after the fact?
I am only joining by phone for this.
Well, good enough. Then everyone, Stephen's here.
Hi, this is Todd Stewart as well.
Hi, I'm sorry, was that Todd?
Yes, Todd Seawards, and I'm also only on the phone.
Great. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Looks like maybe we have a Christina Cantrell on.
Yes.
Hi, Christina. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Would you mind introducing yourself in chat if you could?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
For those who don't know Jim, he is very process oriented.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And that would be Craig Holbrook.
It was somewhat sarcastic at times.
We're IT people. We're all process oriented.
You're right.
So I think we will probably go ahead and get started. It sounds like we've got a pretty decent crew. Thank you all for coming. As Craig just mentioned, I am in fact Jim Martin. I am on the membership team for Boston Sim. I joined the chapter in about 2012, and I have been on the membership team for about 3 years, and my job today is to make sure you come out of this orientation with a little bit better of an idea about what SIM has to offer you. This is going to be an interactive presentation, so there are several places in the slide deck that I have manufactured opportunities for you to contribute. Fundamentally, SIM is about networking and connecting people together. So might as well get used to that at the start. We're recording this as well, and a lot of times there's a lot of secondary noise that makes it difficult for people to hear. So if you don't have anything to add specifically, do me a favor and mute yourself, and we can make sure that everyone gets the best possible experience. So, Craig, I think I can still hear you clicking.
I'm going on mute.
Excellent, thank you. All right, so SIM, it's great to see so many people who are interested in SIM. As I mentioned, we're really about the community. We have a lot of in-person meetings. We feel like that's really important for helping people kind of connect with each other. The value of the connections is personal career, as well as benchmarking what we're doing against what everyone else is doing, who's doing something new or doing something new to you, sort of thing. We have over 50 events every year. They're geared towards different roles in the organizations, all the way up from CIO specific things down to help desk stuff, because we all have a lot of similar challenges. And we wanted to make sure that there was a lot of opportunity for people to find value. And that's not working, pardon me. So we have about 400 members in the Boston chapter of SIM. And we are, in fact, the largest chapter in the entire national SIM organization. SIM organization has, I think, 42 chapters across the country. About 80% of our members are IT practitioners, and 51% joined in the last 3 years. I can remember back in 2012 when I joined, it felt like everybody already knew each other and I didn't know anyone. I was not particularly good at networking, and I would suggest that I'm still not particularly good at it. But it was very comforting to know that there's a lot of other people who are new to SIM as well. And it's not just people who have already known each other for 30 years or so, which brought me comfort, and I'm hoping will be comforting to you as well. So we've actually had about 80 new members in the last 12 months. We have a lot of interest every year, and people drop off the chapter for a year or two, depending what's going on with their lives, or they move away, or move into a different position that isn't appropriate as well. So there's a fair amount of turnover. We represent about 300 different companies across New England area. Specifically Rhode Island, New Hampshire, and 1 or 2 Vermonters, and maybe a Mainer here or there as well. We are very interested in outreach, so we give over $30,000 in grants to our outreach partners every year. And we are a non-for-profit organization, not for-profit organization, and we're run exclusively by volunteers. So I'm a volunteer, Craig is a volunteer, Dan is a volunteer. There are our heads of the membership team and are also on the call today. So no one's really got an agenda, and no one is interested in selling anything to you, which is kind of nice. So as I said, no one's trying to sell you anything. SIM's focuses on practitioners. We want to make sure that everybody is able to kind of connect with everyone. We help each other solve each other's problems. Really find the value of those connections in many small and large ways. Monthly meetings are the offering that the chapter has that's open to anyone, really. People can come to up to 2 monthly meetings a year without even being a member. So that's how we kind of have an opportunity to bring other ideas into the mix, and other people who would be interested in the chapter but may not qualify to belong. You're also more than welcome to invite a guest on the chapter. So if you invite a guest who is an eligible potential member who you think would be gain a lot of value out of SIM, you can let Chrissy or Craig or I or Dan know, and we'll help you kind of manage that whole process. Members in transition is also something that we care very deeply about. I personally joined SIM because I was in transition, trying to figure out what my external network looked like now that it wasn't adequate for my personal needs. It was only adequate for my company's needs prior. So if you are a member in good standing and you go into transition during the year, the chapter will defer your dues until you find a new position for up to 2 years. And we also have some programs that are specifically around helping people figure out how to present themselves and what their best chances are for talking in interviews if they haven't been in interviews for a while, and understanding what the market is out there for new practitioners to find new jobs. So as I said, we really pride ourselves. It's very important for us to be a non-selling environment. So really, even the vendor members that we do have are here to build relationships. And if those relationships end up being trusted enough that someone wants to buy from them, great. But there is to be no direct selling inside the chapter itself. We really want to make it comfortable for all the practitioners, and practitioners generally get sold to quite a lot. So no one really wants to show up at an in-person meeting and get stuck next to someone trying to convince them to buy their widget or service. So this is a slide. So when I joined SIM, I was a little bit taken aback by the breadth of content that existed and was trying to figure out how to make sense of it all. And as Craig mentioned, I am slightly process-oriented, perhaps retentive in nature as well. So my solution was to create a mind map of it so I could keep track of what was actually going on. So for those of you who like me and are and appreciate a good mind map, this is for you. For everyone else, we have this diagram, which simplifies things somewhat. So generally speaking, SIM has community outreach. We communicate with our members. We have national offerings in addition to the offerings that are provided by the SIM Boston chapter. We have a bunch of committees, which is a great way of getting involved and volunteering and adding value to the chapter and also growing your network more quickly. We also have member programs that are focused specifically on adding value to all of our members. And then we have our signature events, which are kind of big galas and take a lot more planning, but generally are bring a lot more topics and a lot more dense opportunities for engagement and learning. So signature events, as I mentioned, so we have the Premier CIO Forum, which is actually happening in the next month. I can't remember off the top of my head. The Technology Leadership Forum, which is an all SIM organized event. So we have a tendency to pull from our own membership. So if you have something cool that you're doing and are interested in practicing your speaking skills, that's a great place to do it. Ask around and find someone and they'll put you in touch with the right people. I can do that as well if you're interested. And it's a great opportunity for all of our members to get out in front of everyone and show all the cool stuff we're working on. If you're a golfer, there's also an annual golf outing, and you can register for that in early summer. So that's people are starting to think about some nice weather for a change, and golfing has been great weather for the last probably 4 or 5 years. So we're hoping to continue that trend this year. So for member programs, we have monthly meetings, which I mentioned. Anyone can go to those. We have CIO roundtables, which are for CIOs and or the most senior IT people in any given company. We have 2 roundtables, one in Boston and one in the Providence area. We also have a life sciences roundtable, which is for IT professionals who are involved in life science. Same thing with education. The roundtable is for people interested in technology around education. And then we have the Technology Leadership Roundtable, which is generally one step below the CIOs, the directors of ITs, the people, the VPs, in a more regional setting. And they tend to deal with things that are slightly more tactical, but still strategic. Then we also have the service desk roundtable meetings, and those have a tendency to be fairly tactical. Smaller group of people who are all dealing with service desk issues. A lot of great information is passed back and forth between members for things that they've found that have worked or not worked. We also have a SIM Women's meeting, which is available and open to all SIM members, regardless of gender. So if you're interested in talking about technology issues and issues with bringing women into the industry, that is a great place to do it. We also have SIM Silver members. I've never been to a SIM Silver meeting because I don't have enough silver hair. But my understanding is that it's a bunch of practitioners who are thinking about or have already retired, who are still interested in networking and keeping appraised of what's going on. And they have some really interesting out-of-the-box people come speak. One of the ones that stuck with me last year were they had someone come and talk to them about building a plane from scratch and then flying it, which was striking in only that it sounded like a really bad idea to me personally. But obviously the gentleman was fine because he was actually having the conversation with them. We also have an RLF mentoring program. So that's Regional Leadership Forum. And that's really a crash course extended over the course of several months around leadership training. A lot of our leadership at SIM have gone through that particular course. And folks who have been through it, including Ed Deming, who is on the phone right now, have been very, very pleased and have felt like it was a game changer for them in their personal career. So we also have the membership career and development breakfasts and virtual meetings. Membership career development is really around making sure everyone keeps track of what's going on with their personal career. Are they keeping up to date? Do they know what new employers are looking for and how to market themselves, how to tell their story effectively, a bunch of other things. It's for people who are in transition for sure, but it's also for people who are thinking maybe there's going to be a change coming for them later on down the line, and they want to be prepared. Okay, so I mentioned at the beginning that there was going to be opportunities for everyone to contribute, and this is one of them. SIM works best when people participate. So I'm going to ask everyone to either comment audibly, or chat and just share with the group, have you been to any SIM meetings before? And if so, what was your impression? Any of the members of the membership team who are on this call can feel free not to contribute in this way, but everyone else should feel free to do so. And please, yeah. Is that Mark?
Yeah, this is Mark from Data Intensity. I went to one of the CIO meetings probably 3 years ago now, I guess. It was definitely a valuable experience because I really enjoyed the roundtable discussions, just to hear what different folks are doing in different topics and kind of understand some of the best practices that people are following for different projects.
Great, thank you. Anyone else? Christina, maybe?
This is Aditya. I'd be happy to share my experience with you.
Please.
So there was an event actually in Providence, and I had been invited as a guest, and I thoroughly enjoyed the fact that they were talking about innovative changes within inside of IT. So the topic was incredible, and then the discussion over dinner with all the like-minded individuals encouraged me to join. So much so that I had to request 2 or 3 times that the membership information be sent to me. That's how impressed I was with the event.
Outstanding, thank you. See, Christina's smart. She chatted, as did Tyler. Good thinking. If you don't want to be put on the spot, that's the way to go.
Hey, Jim, this is Ed Deming. So I've been to quite a few meetings, and so part of the reason I've continued with him after RLF is to really be better at networking and growing my network outside of, similar to you, what I've experienced within my personal company in the past. And the willingness and openness of people to just to walk up to a stranger and connect with them has been phenomenal and helped in that process. So I think it's been a well worth time spent so far.
Yeah, that's great, Ed. Thank you for sharing. I can tell you my personal experience has been the same. Nothing like walking into a room full of slightly awkward people to make an awkward person feel right at home. So, okay, I think we will proceed. Thank you for sharing. Don't worry, there will be more opportunities to do something very similar to that as we progress in the slide deck. And please don't get off the phone because of that now. So one of the great opportunities for SIM, if you are interested in building your network, is to volunteer for something. That's actually how I ended up on the membership committee, and that has worked out really well for me. I am less comfortable networking than I am working. So what I have a tendency to do is find opportunities to work while I'm networking, and then networking seems like it makes a lot more sense to me. So if you're interested in that, we have a number of committees. As I mentioned, we run about 50 programs a year, and Boston chapter is the largest chapter of all of SIM. So there's a lot of volunteer opportunities for people to get involved in things, and they range from time consuming to not time consuming at all. So it's really an opportunity for people to kind of jump in, contribute to the larger cause, understand what is expected of them, and just still continue to kind of create something with everyone else, which is, I think, great. So a couple of committees. We have the Communication and Media Committee, the Partnership and Alliance Committee, which deals with sponsorship, the Membership Committee, which is sponsoring your orientation right now. We have the Outreach Committee, which deals with our outreach partners and helping make sure that they get everything that they need, and also identifying opportunities for individual members to volunteer aside from the gifts that we give in forms of scholarships. There's also the Executive Committee. So if you are interested in being a leader in the chapter, that's something that we vote on, and our fearless leaders kind of help us make sure we're going in the right direction. The golf outing. So if you're an avid golfer or like watching people golf, you can volunteer for the golfing outing, and there's a lot of different jobs that people can do. So it gives you something to do while you're there. And there's also the Fall Summit, which, as I mentioned, is one of our signature events. It takes a lot of individual effort. We run probably 13 or 14 individual tracks, I think, possibly more than that, for that event. So there's a lot of logistics and a lot of other things that provide opportunities. And then each of the other member programs, the roundtables and the other forums, have committees as well. So if you're interested in contributing to or having an opinion on what content is presented to our members, because you think you're representative of things that people would like to see, you can get involved in one of those as well. So if you're interested in kind of supercharging your membership and networking experiences, consider volunteering for a committee, and you can feel free to reach out to myself or Dan or Craig or anyone else in membership or anyone in leadership for the chapter, any of the names that you see there. You'll notice this guy in the lower third quarter, that's actually me.
He's a stud.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I don't look nearly that formal most of the time. So if you see me in person, I wear glasses now, and I'm probably not wearing a suit. So there you go.
Looks like your high school picture, Jim.
A little. It was a little bit after that, but yes. So speaking about community outreach and communication channels, so these are our current community outreach partners. We partner with Year Up Boston as well as Year Up Providence, the Boston Public Schools System, the Latino STEM Alliance, and Junior Tech. And really, a lot of our outreach is kind of specifically geared towards getting children to be interested in STEM careers. We're looking at the pipeline of IT in the next 10 to 15 years. We want to make sure there's an adequate number of people who are interested in the field, who are taking part in some of these programs, so that when we need to hire people, there'll actually be people around to hire. So that's really our primary focus. And if you're interested in or know any other great outreach opportunities, there are people that you can talk to, which we can put you in touch with. So for communication channels, simboston.org is the chapter website. I imagine most of you have visited it at some point. It's a great place to go to find out about current things that are going on. We also have online communities. There's an active CIO Roundtable Google group, Technology Leadership Roundtable Google group, Service Desk, Life Sciences, Education, and some women as well. And that's a fantastic way of kind of getting connected and getting quick answers to questions that we all have in between meetings. And because not every member shows up at every meeting every time, otherwise it would be a mob all the time. So using these online communities is a great way of getting access to the brains of all of our members and the experience of things. People are looking for suggestions on consultants. People are looking for who's done this in the last 3 years. What were the problems, that sort of thing. Pretty tactical in nature, but very valuable. So we also do direct emails. So you probably have gotten some of them in your inbox. You'll continue to get more of them. We do a Boston newsletter as well, which also comes out digitally. And we're active on social media. The LinkedIn site is probably the most active. We also do Twitter, and we have a couple of YouTube channels. We have a YouTube channel as well with a couple of things that get added to it every year. So SimBoston, as I mentioned, one of 42 chapters across the nation. There are other things that are available to you from the national level. Symposium is actually on a hiatus. They're rebuilding that, and it's not going to be called Symposium anymore. That will happen in 2018 again, so just an FYI. There's the Regional Leadership Forum, which is actually a national program, and they run several of them across the country. And that's a fantastic way of getting some leadership skills training for some folks who are maybe the up-and-comers in your company. There's also the Executive Regional Leadership Forum, and that's really for people who are more established in their careers, who are maybe already at the executive level, but are interested in kind of sharpening their skills. Typically, it's for RLF graduates several years later, but I believe they'll also invite other folks to come in if they're sufficiently qualified and sufficiently woke. There's also a Sim Women Conference, which is a national conference, in addition to the local Sim Women things that we do. So it's a great way of getting involved in that conversation at a national level. We also have the IT Procurement Working Group, and that is really all about people who are very deeply and heavily focused on buying things, IT things, and they have lots of interesting conversations around that sort of stuff. There's also the Enterprise Architecture Working Group. Again, it's a special interest group who is specifically interested in talking about enterprise architecture and the things that are going on in our industry around that specific topic. And the Advanced Practices Council, the APC Council. That's a member-driven research arm of the chapter. There's a lot of partnership with universities. The members, it is not inexpensive, but the members actually direct the research that's happening by education partners, and they get access to that research very early on in the process, earlier than anyone else does. And then the APC, after some period of time, will also release all that research to the rest of the active members of SIM. There's also there's a national members and transition program, which has a lot of useful tips and tricks and recorded videos and webinars for people who are in transition and looking for the next challenge. There's also an IT trends study, which is filled out nationally across the board and is a great place to benchmark what things you care about versus everyone else, and what everyone is spending on different kinds of technology and generally what's going on in the industry. There's also a national STEM outreach program that funds things at a national level. And there's the simnet.org website, which includes a national member search. So that's kind of an unknown or underutilized resource. So if you go to simnet.org, which is the same place that you either renew or pay your dues, there's a member search function for that. So you can actually find people from chapters across the country. So if you're looking for people in the same industry as you, or someone specifically at a company that you're partnering with for something, that's a great place to go to try and find that information. This is a general sense of the event distribution. You can see all the red dots are the big ticket, or the big events that we run, the signature events. And then the blue things are, the blue dots are when we do our quarterly roundtables. We don't do a lot of those. Each of those blue dots represents several individual events. And then the green dots are the monthly meetings. We have a tendency not to do too much in the summertime because everyone generally gets distracted with being on vacation. So we'll kind of generally skip things, although we do have CIO summer outings both in Providence and Rhode Island, which are always very popular. So if you're interested in hanging out with a bunch of your peers, drinking on a lovely summer in either Providence or Boston, then look out for that in a couple of months. Okay, so this is our event location map. We haven't updated this in the last 6 months, but this is generally where things occur. We try to create opportunities for when people, for locations that are convenient for people for either home or work. And it seems like the Noel Needham, Newton, Wellesley sort of area are the areas that we tend to gravitate to the most. Babson College is up in there. There's the Newton Marriott, which we do a lot of events at as well. But we'll also do things up in the north, as well as down in the Providence area for all the Providence events. So for our second opportunity for you all to chime in, we have, are any of these locations convenient to you? We're curious. So feel free to put yourself off of mute or enter in chat, and I'll actually put the graphic up so that the question, since the question isn't as relevant as the graphic is. So I'm curious. I'm actually going to take a break and drink some water. So while I'm doing that, feel free to chime in.
Dan, I'd say the locations are convenient. I'd love to have more in Cambridge since I work, live, and play here, but other than that, it's pretty easy. What's nice is that the monthly meetings are in between Burlington and Newton at those two Marriotts, so we stay within the 128 loop, which seems to be quite convenient for people. Of course, for our friends down in Rhode Island, we generally gravitate in between Providence, Warwick as well, but Rhode Island's a small state anyway, so you can find easily get to places as well. I'll be quiet now. I'll let others chime in.
Great. Well, people have gotten smart, and they're starting to use the chat to fulfill their requirements, so they don't have to say anything. So well done. Did we miss anyone who wants to chime in? Maybe Stefan? Okay, good enough. Well, thank you. I think you're halfway done with your audience participation requirements for the day. So good news. Okay, so events in detail. So one of the things that generally people are a little bit intimidated by is, what are these things actually going to look and feel like? So we decided to put a couple of slides together to give you some sense. So for monthly meetings, they're generally between 60 and 90 attendees. They're in, as Dan mentioned, only a few venues, so you generally have some idea of where you're going. And there's a heavy networking focus on it, and then there's a speaker who generally speaks for an hour. The speaker, it varies from meeting to meeting, and it varies greatly based on what people are interested in seeing. There's an entire committee that you would be more than welcome to jump into if you wanted to drive that the kind of content. So if you're interested in that, feel free to reach out and let me know, and we will connect you to the right people. So the idea, the value that we intend for everyone to get out of it is really real life successes and failures. So it's all very tactical. There's a lot of case studies that are done, as well as how-tos and things that you think strategically might be interesting for you or your business to be thinking about, as well as to expand your personal network. SIM is very much about networking. So the roundtable meetings. So these are meetings that are a little more intimate. They're anywhere between 10 and 40, depending on the group. And generally they move around quite a lot. They generally rely on one of the members having a room big enough to host these sorts of things. The CIO group has a tendency to be the largest, and sometimes we can't find someone who has a conference room that can support 40, 45 people. So we'll do some other kind of random places. We have a variety of them that we've gone to in the past. So the idea behind this is it's a little more intimate. You have a pretty good idea of what the person sitting next to you does for a living, because they're probably interested in life sciences or education or technology leadership or service desk or a CIO, depending on the meeting that you're actually at. So they have a tendency to build slightly closer relationships with each other. You see the same people attend the same CIO meetings or life sciences meetings or education meetings, then you can kind of keep track of what they are doing as far as progression goes. So as I mentioned before, the member career development meetings, these are a combination of in-person and webinars. There's generally 5 to 10 people, and there's a lot of mutual support going on, sharing of leads. A lot of times people who are in transition hear about things that are going on, but they're not really the right fit for them. So there's other people around they're happy to share those things with. And generally being able to learn and grow and understanding how their career is progressing and how to talk about that to other people. So again, it's not just for people who are in transition, but certainly there's a lot of value to folks who are in that position. And Sim Women in detail. Sim Women events vary anywhere between 15 and 40 attendees. And it's a great place to go if you're interested in talking about issues that women have in technology. And you can find a lot of people who can give you great advice about what to do about that sort of thing. Or if you're having trouble, or if you're looking for mentors, or just someone to commiserate with, or talk about things that are really interesting and really important for women in technology. And again, the Sim Silver meetings, they're generally at Babson. They basically just camp there. There's anywhere between 8 and 15 members. You are capable of going if you don't have a lot of white hair. And again, some of the things they talk about are really interesting. So feel free to keep an eye out. And if something, I think one of the other ones that they talked about is the president of Atreon actually climbed Kilimanjaro, and he talked about that experience, which I thought was also striking. So there's a theme in there about being really high up in the air, either the plane or the Kilimanjaro thing. Neither of which I'm likely to do anytime soon, but I'm sure it was fascinating to hear about. So probably our biggest chapter event for the year is the Technology Leadership Summit. It has been at the Boston Marriott Newton in the past 2 years since we've started it. But we outgrew the Boston Marriott Newton last year, so we're actually moving out to Gillette Stadium this year, and we expect over 400 attendees. And again, it's all it's mostly practitioners. There are some vendors who help to subsidize the event. It is generally free or nominal charge. So we rely on the vendors in order to have booths, and we ask that people just go and interact with them and learn about the technology that they have to sell and the services they have to sell, that sort of thing. And that kind of helps us do this very large multi-tracked networking and breakout sessions sort of event. We also we always have a signature company, which is a local Massachusetts company or Rhode Island company that has been doing something interesting in IT, and we've had the CEO of Dunkin' Brands and the CEO of Reebok for the last 2 years come and talk to us, which is pretty interesting. Not Reebok, New Balance. Sorry, New Balance. Wrong shoe. Completely the wrong shoe. My bad. And again, the golf outing. So it's at Cyprian's Keys in Boylston, Mass, which is out in west of town. Casual, as you can see by the pants that are in the photo. Generally, we have about 160 golfers. It does sell out, I every year. So if you're interested, we open up reservations in the summertime. It's a great way of just being casual, meeting people, building very deep relationships. People who golf together tend to stay together. It also happens to be the largest single fundraising event that we have in the Boston chapter, and it does fuel an awful lot of our outreach. So in addition to showing up on a beautiful golf course and having a great time with some really fun people, it's also a great way of contributing to our outreach partners. So price list. So everyone, we are a nonprofit, but all the things that we do actually cost the chapter money for all the events that we run and the places we have to rent out and the catering and all the rest of that fun stuff. So we do charge for events. So the membership dues are $360 for a general and $155 for nonprofit. And there's an early renewals special if you are a current member and renewing to encourage people to renew before December 1st. There's a sustaining package for CIOs. You can be a member as an enterprise. So if there are several people in your company that you are interested in getting involved in SIM, there's an enterprise package for that. And then individual meetings kind of vary based on the cost of running the meeting and the value that they provide and how established the meetings actually are. So you can kind of see all that in there as well. And then the RLF program, which I mentioned, is a several month long, very involved. You have to be interested in reading many, many books in order to do that. But if you're interested in that as well. So all that information is kind of here. This slide deck will be available as well. And the information is also available on the website. If anyone has any questions at any point, feel free to reach out and ask me or Craig or Dan or Chrissy or really anyone else on the chapter. All right, so why did you join SIM? So I'm curious, and chat seems to be pretty popular today. Feel free. If you've just called in, I'm curious, what are you looking to get out of your membership? What is it that you joined for? So I can't tell if everyone's typing or if anyone left.
This is your opportunity to become an extrovert.
There you go.
Don't type. Speak.
So, hey, this is Ed. I would say really what Dan just said, my opportunity to become an extrovert. So coming out of RLF, really wanted to see what SIM had to offer and be better at networking with people, but also to grow my network outside of, again, like I stated before, just my my particular company and job, and also to get a little bit more about what's happening out in the IT world that I don't deal with, and try to get involved where I can. And so far, it's been a good experience.
Great. Anyone else care to share? We've got some chatting going on, which is great. Okay. All right. Well, I think the majority of people say that networking is the #1 reason that they join. So it seems like a lot of the people on the call today are also interested in joining SIM for networking. And that is great news and horrible news, because we all want to do it, but many of us don't really know how. And one of the things that we joined SIM for is to have a safe place to actually network. So, as you kind of figure it out what networking means to you, there's a safe place for you to do that. Nobody joined SIM for the food at the events. So if you show up at an event and you are looking around trying to figure out how does one actually start networking, it really involves finding someone, talking to them, and asking them questions. And that is absolutely my advice to you. That's what I always do. So if you ever see me at one of these events, which you probably will, you'll probably find that I ask you questions because I'm generally curious about what's going on with everyone else's life and businesses, and I like to learn vicariously through what other people have done. So as a challenge, what I would suggest for you is show up at a meeting and introduce yourself to 5 people. I promise you they will be, at least 4 of them will be interested in what you have to say, and probably you picked a waiter for the 5th one. So volunteerism. As I mentioned, this is a personal insight of mine. I don't know how to network, but I do know how to work. So I have actually decided that the best way for me to grow my network, which has been very successful, is to get involved in SIM and talk to a bunch of people. I have an opportunity to meet the 7 or 8 people who are on the call today for the first time, which is fantastic. And I did that by volunteering. So it's really just a commitment of time, which is a welcome trade-off for me personally. There are a lot of different groups that need people to have opinions, and generally speaking, I think it's safe to assume that all the people on the call today are capable of having opinions, and that's really all that you need in order to contribute to one of these groups. So if you're interested in joining the Communication and Media Committee, the Partnership Alliance Committee, Membership Committee, Outreach Committee, Fall Summit, Golf Committee, monthly meetings, CIO roundtables, either Providence or Boston, SIM Women, Education, Life Science Practitioner, and Service Desk, please just reach out and let someone know, and we will figure out a way to get you in touch with the right people. And again, it can be a very large ask or it can be a very small ask, depending on what your available in time is and what you're interested in getting out of it. So outreach, I just wanted to kind of reiterate again, outreach for SIM is really about STEM. So it's about getting people involved in the industry of IT, so that, very selfishly, when we're trying to hire people 15, 10 years from now, there'll actually be people in the pipeline for us to hire. So we do a lot of things with Hour of Code and encouraging scholarship opportunities for young people interested in technology who've expressed an interest to keep them in the industry, so that we'll have much better quality people to hire in the future. So member resources. So there is actually a tab on the website, the SIM Boston website, that has a link to the slide deck that you're looking at right now, as well as some frequently asked questions and some networking tips. So if you're interested in any of those things, that is a fantastic place to go and find them. If you go there thinking, oh, maybe this will be there, but it's not there, please let Chrissy or I or Dan or Craig know, because if you're looking for it there, probably someone else is, and we put the things on the site as resources based on what we thought people were interested in seeing. Okay, so get ready. If you have questions that have not been addressed, in about 3 more slides, that's going to be the time to ask them. So if you want to start typing but not hit send, or get your finger close to the mute off button, you'll have an opportunity very shortly. But I'm interested in hearing, what would you like to hear more about that we didn't cover? What did you think was most intriguing? What did you learn that you didn't realize? And if there was anything that wasn't clear. Sometimes I ramble. I can't guarantee that I was speaking English the entire time. So feel free to call me on that, and we'll have an opportunity to clarify. So who to turn to for questions? So as I mentioned, the chapter is run by volunteers. We all have day jobs, and we are all generally as busy as you are. That said, we all volunteer, so we're all interested in kind of helping everyone else get the most out of the chapter, and are interested in answering questions and asking questions. So you can certainly contact me. My contact information is around somewhere. You can also contact anyone from the board of directors. So you can see the link to our website onto the team page. Any one of those folks have generally identified themselves as being interested enough in the chapter to be on the board of directors, and can probably answer your question, or at least direct you to someone who can. We also have some great chapter administration staff. We've got Chrissy Fernandez, who's a chapter operations manager. She's on the call today, helping in the background, making sure I don't make a fool of myself and waste all of your time. You can contact her. She's fantastic. And Kate Carroll as well, who is equally fantastic, but doesn't happen to be on the phone at the moment. And there's also some folks at the SIM headquarters who can help us out with some of the password reset stuff and registering for events and all of our fun stuff. So if Chrissy and Kate can't help you with some of the administrative side of things, there are other people around who can. So there are upcoming events. We have a lot of different meetings. So we have a meeting in April coming up, which looks familiar to me because I'm actually going to be speaking. So that one's actually going to be around solving business problems with augmented and virtual reality. So looking at the emerging technology and trying to understand how it might be applicable to all of our businesses. And that will also include a tabletop exercise where we're going to look for the people in the room to think about things that VR might do or AR might do to help them. So that should be pretty interesting. There's also a life sciences CIO roundtable coming up at the end of the month, tomorrow, and the technology leadership roundtable also tomorrow at Babson, and then an education roundtable April 6th. So there's also, as I had mentioned, the Michael P. Brooks Memorial Golf Outing, and that is June 14th specifically out in Boylston, and the Technology Leadership Summit, which is going to be held in Gillette Stadium in October. So, Tom, thank you for showing up. Sorry you missed it. Hopefully you didn't have any questions that you needed to get asked, but now is the time. So if you have questions, now is the time to type them in. What did you learn? What did you like? What would you think we could do better? Every time we do this orientation, we change it slightly. I would prefer to change it based on your feedback than on mine. So feel free to unmute yourself, ask questions, type them into chat, whatever makes you happy. Great, Mark. Looking forward to seeing you too. Are there any meetings that are broadcasted to those that may be interested but can't attend in person? We don't do monthly meetings and the kind of in-person meetings also simulcasted, but we have done, I think, 2 webinars last year of random topics specifically for that sort of thing. And we've also experimented with kind of breakfast meetings or some other formats other than the more traditional evening events. So if you have specific suggestions on what you might like to see but can't attend in person, feel free to kind of shout that out. The other thing I would suggest is just find someone who you know in SIM who was able to make that meeting, and have a conversation with them and at least experience it vicariously through their eyes. Great, thank you, Tyler.
Jim, I think you're a pro at this. Perfect.
I've gotten some practice.
Yes. Great job.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. I really appreciate your time. I'll leave you with an extra 5 minutes of your day to get to your next meeting. If anyone comes up with any questions after the fact, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to answer it.
Thank you. Great job.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Thanks, Tim.
Thank you. Have a good one. Bye-bye.